Hello, accelerators. It's Diane Spadola, and I am here on Traction Tuesday to give you some tips about how you can develop a niche in 4 easy steps. Okay? But before I do that, what I'd like to do is welcome some new members to the Accelerate Your Success Facebook group, which is my online classroom for all the things that a marketing challenged entrepreneur might want to learn about in order to get more clients in simple and easy relationship marketing habits. So today, and you can see on the screen, today we are welcoming, I might butcher this name. Let's just call him JC. Okay, so we're going to welcome JC, and we're going to welcome a new coach by the name of Iris Lopez to the Accelerate Your Success Facebook group. If you haven't been there recently, you want to go on over, take a look. Tomorrow, which is Wednesday, May 26th at 11 a.m. Eastern, I am going to be live, and I'm going to give you a tour of the Facebook group. I'll be totally honest with you. I said I was going to do that last week. I did not put it on my calendar, and I totally disappeared. So it could be an age thing. It could be the fact that it's summer and sometimes I'm not thinking all about work. Who knows? But tomorrow I put it on the calendar at 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to be live, and I'm going to do a screen share, and I'm going to walk you around the Facebook group so you know how to find everything now that Facebook has made so many changes since that group was first launched. Okay, let's get started on today. Today is Taco Tuesday, as is every Tuesday, and I create a resource guide that includes all the tools and apps that you would need as an entrepreneur on a budget in order to grow your business successfully. So most of the tools and the apps that are in this resource guide were actually submitted by members of the Accelerate Your Success Facebook group. So it's not really, although I put the guide together, I don't even really do that. Amanda, my wonderful virtual assistant in Washington State, does that. But every 6 months, we update it for all the new things that people have added on the Taco Tuesday post. So if you have a tool or an app that you're absolutely crazy about and you'd like to share that with some other entrepreneurs, please look for the Taco Tuesday post in today's Facebook under the group, Accelerate Your Success, and tell us a little bit about that tool or that app. What we'll do is we'll pull that off, we put it on a spreadsheet, and every 6 months we update the guide. So most recently we updated it in April, so pretty much everything up to the minute is included in that Taco Tuesday. All right, and you can find it in the files section of the AYS group. So let's talk a little bit about a niche. First and foremost, what is a niche? You know, everybody tells you to go find a niche, to boil your product or service down to something that is a specialization, okay? And what a niche actually is, by definition, is it's a smaller part of a larger market. Now, the one thing that the people in the niche have in common is that they either have a similar problem that they're looking to solve, or they have similar needs and wants, all right? Now, the challenge for us as service professionals is to identify who do we serve the best with what it is that we know, our expertise, and how do we define them so that they can readily find us amidst all of the other people that do the same thing that we do. So let's talk a little bit about the traits of a niche. This is just a little funny acronym that allows me to remember some of the commonalities between, or some of the commonalities of a niche. First and foremost, it does focus on a narrower audience. So it's this notion of you become a bigger fish in a smaller pond, okay? So your audience is scaled down to be smaller. It makes the most of your individuality Okay, so your personality, your way of doing business, the happy-go-lucky way that you solve problems or share your gift, whatever that happens to be. It does focus, or it should, on your ideal customers. Okay, so it's going to be a smaller subset of the people that are buying whatever it is that you do. And the solutions that you present to that niche are particularly helpful to a smaller population than the people that are shopping for your services. Okay? And most importantly, sometimes it has to evolve. And given all the stuff that we've been through in the last year and a half, changing your niche or having your niche evolve over time is really important. So let's talk a little bit about an example. Okay? So an example would be a realtor, all right? A realtor can sell commercial real estate or can sell residential real estate. So as soon as they define themselves as being a specialist in one of those categories, they've already narrowed their audience. Let's say they decide residential, okay? Now, for people that are looking for a residential real estate agent, that's still really, really broad. And if I was a residential real estate agent, I would want to bring it down even smaller so that people know exactly what they're getting when they come to me. So, because I've been a first-time home buyer, I'm thinking that I would really like to work with other excited first-time home buyers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to establish myself as an expert in first-time home buying. All right? So I'm going to become more aware of the market. So I'm going to know what kind of houses are available for people that are first-time home buyers. I'm going to become really aware of the issues of my customer, things like getting a mortgage, establishing a good credit record, trying to find out whether they have the capability of doing any fixing of a place, because sometimes the first home that you buy needs a little bit of tender loving care, you might say. And that's why it's affordable, but not every first-time home buyer has the capability of going in and making those renovations or updates themselves. So I need to know that about my customer. I would know all of the inventory intimately in a geographic area, the geographic area that serves my niche, because it doesn't behoove me to find out about what's going on the east side of Cleveland if in fact all my customers, or I want my customers to be on the west side of Cleveland, okay? So that's just a little example about how you would niche down given geography, okay? I'm obviously, first-time home buyers are going to be younger. First-time home buyers are probably going to be recently married or recently having had a child. All right, first-time home buyers are not going to know anything about the buying process because it's their first time. And these are people that I specifically feel that I can help the most. And I can also help them with those trade-offs between, bigger house, more dependent on loans, bigger house, larger down payment, bigger house, more opportunities for them to grow within the home instead of having to move in a number of years. So I'm going to understand their problems much more intimately because I'm focused specifically on that type of buyer. So let's take it one step further. How are you going to create your niche? Well, there's 4 easy steps to creating a niche. First one is you're going to identify your main category. So that could be that you're an accountant. You're an accountant for organizations. You're an accountant for individuals. You're an accountant for super large corporations. Okay? So identify a main category, and then you can start to subdivide that category. The next thing that you're going to do, okay, is you're going to narrow it down by adding more detail. All right? So you're an accountant. Let's say you're an accountant for individuals. You are uniquely qualified to help individuals that are self-employed, okay? Because you yourself are self-employed, and so you're going to have some special mastery of all the things that an accountant would need to know regarding a self-employed person, all right? Having to do with tax code, having to do with hiring independent contractors, having to do with a small number of employees, different than what a corporate accountant would need to know. You're going to become a small fish in a big pond. And the reason you want to be a small fish in a big pond was because you can't serve everyone anyways. So you're better off serve people that are not being served by your competition. And that way you can have ownership of that niche or that specialty in your market. You don't want to be the big fish in a small pond. One, it's difficult to get to be the big fish in a small pond. Actually, I have this all backwards, okay? You don't want to be a small fish in a big pond. You want to be the big fish in a small pond. And why? Because you want to be known for the one specific issue that your customers are facing, all right? And you don't want to be everything to everyone. That small fish in a big pond, they're trying to get as much as they can, but they're never going to be able to make really big strides in growing their size, growing their food source, growing their, because there's too much to offer. And it's very likely that they're going to be eaten by a bigger fish. So you want to be the big fish in a small pond so you can kind of rule the roost. You can be in charge. It's your market, all right? And you can basically eliminate the competition, especially people that don't know who they're going to, and the people that are trying to be everyone, everything to everybody, okay? Because then they don't really have the consistency of being able to match up with their ideal client. So I want you to think, would you rather be the jack of all trades and master of none? Or would you like to be really, really good at something really, really specific? So anybody that needs that thing, that service, that product, they only have one place to go, and that's to you. You're able to specialize, so that way you can actually delve in, go deep into a specific topic, a specific solution, a specific technique, technology, whatever it happens to be that you do for work, you are able to specialize and you're going to know more about that narrow topic than any of your competitors because you're an expert, because you're a specialist, because you've gone out and learned what needs to be known. Obviously, you'll have less competition because you're the only person that's going to dive that deep into whatever the subject matter is. All right, so once you've identified the main category and you've narrowed it down by adding more detail, what are you going to do next? Well, if you're still stuck on the details that can help you select a smaller niche, these are some of the questions that you might want to ask. Who are your ideal customers? Okay, so look at whoever you're serving right now and find out who is the perfect match for you. That if every customer could be like that, your life would be a dream. That's how you want to start. Secondly, you want to look at where they're located. So you might be able to pick a geographic area that those people are active in. Or maybe it's the geographic area that you feel comfortable traveling to if you were going to meet them in person. Maybe it's the geographic area that you feel like you could charge them one price for their service without having to add in a travel fee or any sort of travel expenses. You can also reduce the size of your niche by establishing that you're better suited for a specific gender of customer, a specific age of customer, a specific economic, sort of what is their income level. Also, one of the things that I do that's really important is I consider the values of that customer. How are they going to treat me as the service provider? Are they honest? Do they have a sense of humor? Do they have the beliefs in whatever it is, whether it's my coaching services for marketing challenged entrepreneurs, or whether it was back in the day when I was doing face painting at parties, do they have the same beliefs about those services as I do? And then lastly would be similar lifestyles, and whether you have the capacity of talking about other things besides what your actual delivery of service or product is. And then I take a look at who do I really enjoy working with, because I always go back to that. If I could make all my customers just like this one, then life would be a dream. So I create my ideal customer avatar, if you will, which is kind of a generic depiction of who you want to serve. I make that as close to a real person who I love serving as I can. And then it's easier for me to describe my specialty, my expertise, in light of what that ideal person needs. So once we've identified the main category, we've narrowed it down by adding more detail. Then we're going to go on and we're going to define your specialty, which is your secret sauce. What is it that you're really good at? What is it that you have expertise that nobody else has? What is that subject matter that you dove deep, did your research, or you have some unusual competency that nobody else has? Okay? Like you understand the first-time home buyer as a real estate agent better than any other realtor in your marketplace. You talk their talk, you walk the walk, you know exactly what inventory they're looking for, and you know how to get at their specific characteristics for their first-time home. So, what are the unique features of your product and service? That's one way of considering your specialty. What is the type of pricing that's associated with your product or service? Are you a luxury item or are you a budget item? I have a wonderful pricing presentation that I'm going to give over the course of the next couple of months. And it talks about whether you're a Ford Focus or an Audi Spider. Because if you're charging the Audi Spider prices, your customer is going to be completely different than the person that's looking for a Ford Focus. Then obviously, whatever your personal knowledge and experience is. So if you have been that person that you're trying to serve, that's very helpful. If you really like talking to those people, or you find that you have some special capabilities, I'm really good with people who are marketing challenged, that really hate marketing, that don't want to market, that don't want to put themselves out there. Now, how could I, who's like a huge extrovert, understand what that person is like? I just do. I know what they need, I know what they want, and they want to have an easy breezy way of developing more clients without having to be icky, without having to buy other people's services, without having to deal with lists or paid mailers or any of that other stuff. I just know that. And that's the person that I choose to serve. And then I would always ask the person that are satisfied, my ideal clients, I interview them. Okay, so when I tried to narrow down my specialty, I first went to, well, I don't know, maybe 20 people that were peers, colleagues, clients. I asked a couple family members, and I asked them about the problems that I solved for them, why they chose me. Most importantly, 3 words or phrases that describe me so that they can actually feed back to me the words that are in their head about me, okay? Then I ask them who or what else did they consider. And lastly, I always try to ask, why didn't you solve this problem for yourself? Okay? There's always a good answer to why they sought help from an outside source. It's either convenience, it's speed, it's that they don't have the capability, they don't have the time, whatever. But it's important to know why those people are coming to you so that you can make sure that you're using the same language as they do when you're describing your product or service. Okay, so now when we're all done with those things, we are going to put it together and we're going to try it on for size. This is just like clothes shopping. You can tell when you're looking at something on the rack that that's not going to be good for you, okay? But you're only going to try it on if it actually is going to be good for you. And, some people might not even try it on. They might just buy it. But I believe in trying it on. So I want you to create one sentence that starts with I am a, which you would fill in with your occupation. I specialize in, and that's where you're going to talk about your custom solution or your target audience. I specialize in this niche. All right. I'm a face painter for party entertainment. I specialize in dinosaur parties, where I can actually provide education and entertainment about dinosaurs to your guests. If you feel like your niche is too broad, one of the ways of drilling it down is to make it answer, just keep asking the question, so what? Okay. So I'm an accountant for entrepreneurs, so that because they are, because I am, you just keep narrowing it down, asking so what again and again and again until you get to the one thing that you can be known for. Now, I do want to address this issue about, well, what happens if somebody that isn't looking for that, somebody outside my niche comes and asks me to provide them with my services? You're not saying that you can't serve other people when you establish a niche. What you're saying is that you specialize in one small specific thing. And then it's up to you as to whether you want to take additional work or not. You can't be everything to everyone, so choose wisely who it is that you're going to work for. And then you have to be willing to be flexible because, as we know from this past year, you may need to change your niche, okay? So you may need to change your niche if you have new expertise, if the market has changed, if your customer needs have become different, okay? People that were involved in commercial real estate over the course of the last year were really stuck. Their jobs needed to change because there wasn't anybody looking for commercial real estate. And in fact, the people that had commercial real estate who were renters or owners were probably looking for some way of getting out of those agreements because of the fact that all of their workers were working remotely. So be open to the fact that if your market changes and their needs become different, you need to adapt and change with them. I would say if you are overwhelmed with work, if you're turning down more work than you're taking, then you are serving too broad an audience. Now, one of the weird paradoxes is that if you don't have enough work, it's probably because of the same issue, that you have not established yourself as the go-to person for a specific type of client or customer. So that's the end of our discussion for today, but I do want to also tell you that I am happy to help you if you're in the process of establishing a niche, or you're thinking about changing the niche that you're involved in. If you don't know how to proceed, if you need an accountability partner, if you need somebody to brainstorm ideas with you about maybe there's a specialization over here and a specialization over here, and you don't know which one to pursue, I'm the person that can help you do that. I provide a 30-minute free consultation on the phone or on Zoom for anybody that needs help with their marketing goals. So all you have to do is reach out to me with a personal message, or you can email me by looking at the information that's on the screen and get in touch with me, and I'd be happy to help you. So hopefully you have learned that it's better to be a big fish in a small pond, not a small fish in a big pond. Drill down, drill down, drill down until you're the only person that can provide that service or that product. for the customer that's looking for you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.